السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. الحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله وعلى آله وصحبه ومن والاه وبعد. We are still in Surat Al-Baqarah. We finished Ayah 28.
28?
Yes, and we are starting tonight from Ayah number 29. As we all know, Ayah 28 is a rhetorical question that is unlike all other rhetorical questions because it is pushing for an answer. It says, كيف تكفرون بالله وكنتم أمواتا فأحياكم ثم يميتكم ثم يحييكم ثم إليه ترجعون. Typically, a rhetorical question is a question that is not seeking an answer. It is driving an understood, clear, only answer, but it is questioning the understanding of the audience. It is like when you say, haven't you seen the sun today? Which we have, right? Or didn't you see that today was fully cloudy? That's something obvious, everybody knows. Then it builds on that question the issue that it wants to bring by this type of question. So the question about كيف تكفرون, ayah 28, is leading to the ayah that comes next, which is هو الذي, ayah 29, هو الذي خلق لكم ما في الأرض جميعا. I want to take this, break it down into its elements. In this ayah, ayah 29, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is defining himself. Who is Allah? He is the one who created for you. Created for you all whatever is in the earth. And I want you to pay attention that few ayat before, the ayat were telling us, يا أيها الناس اعبدوا ربكم الذي خلقكم والذين من قبلكم, worship your Lord, the one who created you and those before you. Here it's not talking about your creation, it is talking about the creation of everything there is in the earth for you. And the ayah says he created for you whatever is in the earth, which means all of this earth, all what's in it, all what's over it, all what is on the top of it, all what's in its oceans, all whatever flies in its skies, all whatever comes of things from heaven to the earth, it's all created for you. So what is the significance of this emphasis? The significance is, if Allah is the one who created us and the one who created everything on the earth for us, doesn't it require that we believe in Him and believe in His power? Not only the power of creation, but all the powers that He has. Because embedded in this ayah is the fact that Allah created us, even though it's not mentioned in this ayah, but it is embedded because He is saying, I created for you all what is in the earth, which means He knows everything there is on the earth. Everything inside the earth, everything around the earth, everything that affects the earth. He knows all of it. So you don't believe only in His existence or in His creation or the power of His creation, but you also believe in His holy attributes, the measure of which is the power of knowledge that He has. Because He's telling us that I created for you whatever is in the earth, which means all your needs are secured where you are being put. You're created from the earth, you're going to go back to the earth, then we'll resurrect you again, right? Here he is telling us that he knows all what we need, and on that basis he created the earth to fit all of our needs and beyond. Okay, this ayah also requires that we contrast it with another ayah where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says that He has subjected everything in the heaven and in the earth for us to use. That also is additional power. So Allah doesn't only have the power over the earth, but everything there is in heaven and everything in the earth, so much so that He would subject everything in the heaven and in the earth to our utility or to our benefit. And there's a difference between the two. When it says subjected something to your utility, he uses the word وَذَلَّلْنَاهَا لَكُمْ, like the animals, the domestic animals that we slaughter and eat their meat, benefit from skin and so on and so forth. He's saying وَذَلَّلْنَاهَا لَكُمْ فَمِنْهَا رَكُوبُكُمْ. We have domesticated it for you. Allah is the one who let some animals become domesticated so that we can domesticate them and grow them and support them and then use them. They are made easy to use by us and made for us by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So he uses وَذَلَّلْنَاهَا لَكُمْ. When it comes to things that are made for our benefit, even though they are not under our control, like the heavens. The heaven is not under our control. The sky is not under our control. The canopy over the earth that protects us from sun rays and other things is not under our control, but it is made for our benefit. Who is maintaining it and maintaining those benefits for good? Allah. So in this case he uses وَسَخَّرَ لَكُمْ مَا فِي السَّمَاوَاتِ وَمَا فِي الْأَرْضِ جَمِيعًا مِنْهُ. He has subjected for you whatever is in the heavens and whatever is in the earth. So he uses the word subjected, which means yusakhir. It is subjected by him for our benefit. But the animals we use, the metal we format, and everything that we manipulate on earth, it is created for our utility and for our benefit. Things that are created for our utility and we are given the power to manipulate, shape and format and manufacture and develop, unfortunately some of it we use it for our benefits and some of it we use it to our own detriment. When we pollute the earth, the air we breathe, the water we drink, we are hurting our own interest. But Allah has enabled us to have access in abundance to these blessings, and He has enabled us to use it any way we want. He told us that use it for your benefit, be conservative, do not consume all what I give you. And this is clear all throughout the Quran that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is telling us وَأَنْفِقُوا مِمَّا رَزَقْنَاكُمْ. Spend from what we have provided for you. That's a theme in the Quran, which means spend from, which means part of. Spend from what we have provided for you. So when we spend all what we get, when we consume all what we get, we end up having shortage of water, and soon we can have shortage of air. Right? When we pollute the air all around us, we will have no place to inhabit. It is like when we turn the earth into uninhabitable, we end up inhabiting areas that we shouldn't, like flood zone areas, like areas prone to drought and the floods and other things, then we end up depriving ourselves from those blessings. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala here is telling us He has created all what is in the earth for us. And then it says, ثُمَّ اسْتَوَى إِلَى السَّمَاءِ فَسَوَّاهُنَّ. The word istawa, which could mean to settle, it could mean to exercise control, it could mean to turn to, is what the word istawa could be translated as. So it has varieties of meanings. Definitely, we cannot talk about Allah as if He is limited to a place or limited to a time like His creation. Everything in His creation is made in a time frame, it lives in a time frame, and it occupies some space in this universe. Allah is not living and does not live inside a space or a place. So some scholars would argue that you cannot say, then He turned, as if He is waiting for something to happen. But the word then, thumma istawa, points to the fact that Allah has created the heavens and the earth, and after He had created everything for us in the earth, He started to shape the heaven and equip it with everything that is needed for our life on the earth. Because now that we have gone to the space, we understand that we do not only get affected by things that come out of the earth, but also things that come out of the sun, things that come from other planets, things that fly in the sky, things that we made to fly in the sky, like spaceships, space debris that are flying and covering our sky. All of those things are some of those things are man-made. So they end up coming back sometimes to the earth, sometimes they hurt, sometimes they land in an empty space. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala then He shaped the heavens into 7 heavens. And here is something. The word used here is not as-samawat, it is as-sama'. As-sama' in singular. ثُمَّ اسْتَوَى إِلَى السَّمَاءِ. And then it says فَسَوَّاهُنَّ. He reformatted them into 7 layers, 7 heavens. That means as-sama' was created as one, and then it was reshaped into 7 heavens. This is what you get from this ayah, that it was one heaven and then it was made into 7 heavens. وَهُوَ بِكُلِّ شَيْءٍ عَلِيمٍ. Again, this part of the ayah, that He is knower of everything, He is all knowledgeable of everything, is to emphasize that everything He does is based on His divine knowledge as well as His divine wisdom, because there is no wisdom without knowledge, and there is no wisdom without expertise. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, part of His names is Al-Alim, Al-Hakim, Al-Khabir. So you will find these 3 holy names alternatively combined. Either it says Alimun Hakim, or Alimun Khabir, or Hakimun Khabir. So they come in combination too, every time they are mentioned. And here the emphasis is on knowledge. We will see in the next few ayat, which are my subject for tonight, which are the most exciting ayat you could read in the Quran, in terms of those ayat telling us the story of our existence, the story of our beginning as a human race. When did we start? How did we start? And the Creator is going to talk to us and tell us what happens when the first human being was created. Where was he intended to live? Because some people think because Allah told Adam to get out of paradise and land on the earth, to live right here down on the earth, that Allah did it out of anger. But the ayat will tell us that was his plan from the outset. We will read this in ayah number 30 as Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gives us the story. This story will be the first story of all the stories to be mentioned in the Quran in terms of organization of the Quran. This is the first time that you will encounter a story in the Quran, and rightly so and properly so. It begins with what matters most for us to know, which is, where did we come from? Who put us here? Why did he put us here? Why is it on the earth? Why not somewhere else? Were we intended to be in paradise forever? Or did Adam cause us to be kicked out of paradise, as the drama would tell you? We'll get the answers to all of these questions in the next few ayat, about 14, 16 ayat that are coming right there. So let us begin with the beginning of that story. وَإِذْ قَالَ رَبُّكَ لِلْمَلَائِكَةِ إِنِّي جَاعِلٌ فِي الْأَرْضِ خَلِيفَةً. Very simple, straightforward text. We all know it. There's nothing new that anyone could say. But tonight you will discover that every word right here has a meaning, and it does have implications. So let us talk the first word. The first word is وَإِذْ. And the word وَإِذْ, when it's mentioned in the Quran, why are you laughing?
How detailed, because وَإِذْ, like you said, these are very simple words, but the way I like how you break things down, and I'm pretty sure you can dwell on وَإِذْ, even though I see it's a very simple word, but you're about to prove that it's not as simple as it is.
When you know the meaning of the word and how it's used all throughout the Quran, you will understand what I'm saying. It's simple. It's simple, but the implication and the meanings are very important. What is this story about? It is about our creation. So Allah starts off with وَإِذْ. وَإِذْ means وَذْكُر, which means and behold and remember. So the purpose of that story as a whole is for us to remember who created us and why did he create us and what is our function. That's significant. So it is significant also to tell us the story starting with and remember. Don't forget who you are. You see what I'm saying? When you have a problem with your dad or mom and they tell you, listen son, remember who brought you up. Remember what did we do to make you who you are. Remember you were helpless when we offered you the services you need the most. You couldn't have survived without us. You see? So the word remember is very significant because it wants to drill the event in our mind. So it wants to influence something. What it is? What does it want to influence? When something is drilled in your memory as foundational as the story of your creation, that means every part of that story matters for our life. This is the significance of the word وَإِذْ. It's simple, but it's not. But it is significant. وَإِذْ قَالَ رَبُّكَ. Who's talking here? And remember, and behold, when your Lord talked, when he spoke, when he said, and he's going to bring us what did he say, whom he was talking to, but primarily the ayah is saying the next part of the ayah and the next part of the story is going to be Allah telling us the story. So who is the storyteller here? It doesn't come from the Associated Press or the New York Times or via a reporter or CNN. It is coming from the Creator Himself. Who is this Creator? Rabbuka, your Lord, your Master, your Creator, your Maker, your Caretaker. That's significant also. وَإِذْ قَالَ رَبُّكَ. And that also comes with a very important thing, that all throughout the Quran, Allah will be talking to us. So whom is He telling the story to?
To us.
To us humans. Thank you. So when Allah, if you could imagine, if Allah were to give you a call to your phone, and it's not a spam, it is not suspected, spam or fraud. It is a real call that's coming from Allah. This is what the Quran is. This is the Quran. The Quran is Allah talking to His creations, specifically the humans. But here, He is talking to the angels, but He's telling us the story. These ayat are recorded for us, right? So He is talking to the angels about our creation before He had created us.
How do we know He's talking to the angels?
وَإِذْ قَالَ رَبُّكَ لِلْمَلَائِكَةِ.
Okay.
And behold, and remember, as Allah told the angels. So the angels are the audience in this part of the story, right? We know that if an angel talks to you, you're lucky, right? What about if Allah's talking to you? Would you not listen? Because it seems that many people really do not listen. Even when they hear the Quran, they hear it, but they do not listen. What is the difference between hearing and listening? We hear lots of voices, but do you catch everything said if you don't pay attention to what's being said?
We hear, we don't.
We hear a lot of voices,
When we listen, we do it actively.
but when we listen,
Actively.
it means active listening, paying attention, trying to get what is being said and why, and how does it affect me, what does it ask me to do or to stop doing. So when Allah speaks, we are going to give Him all of our ears, all of our hearts, all of our minds, because this is the only way we can focus. How do we know that the Quran is telling us that many people do hear a lot, but they do not listen? We read this in Surah Al-A'raf. وَإِذَا قُرِئَ الْقُرْآنُ فَاسْتَمِعُوا لَهُ وَأَنصِتُوا. And the focus here is وَأَنصِتُوا, because as far as hearing, we all hear. As far as sounds coming through our ears, we all hear sounds, right? But the key word here is وَأَنصِتُوا, pay attention. Because when Allah speaks, He's not going to talk nonsense. He's not going to talk to entertain us. He's not. He's going to talk only on things that matter most for our life and our fate. وَإِذْ قَالَ رَبُّكَ لِلْمَلَائِكَةِ إِنِّي جَاعِلٌ فِي الْأَرْضِ خَلِيفَةً. So somebody would say, I was not there. Yes, you were not. You were not created yet. But Allah, who only speaks truth, is giving us a peek here into his talk to the angels. This is as private a company as it can get. Allah talking to his angels. We were not created, but he is giving us a hearing. He is copying what he said to them and how they responded to him for us in that speech. And that's why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala named the Quran as a speech. Allahu nazzala ahsan al-hadithi kitaban mutashabihan مثانية تقشعر منه جلود الذين يخشون ربهم ثم تلين قلوبهم وجلودهم إلى ذكر الله. Subhanallah, that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has sent down the best of speech. This is the best of speech. Allah talking to the angels. Let us now get, what did he tell them? What was the subject? The subject was us. The subject was Allah is informing the angels that he was going to create a Khalifa in the earth. Some Khalifa is going to be created, a human being, supposedly, and he will be created fil ard, in the globe, on the surface of this globe. Inni ja'ilun fil ardi khalifa. And that cancels away all the stories, all the fake stories that presume or say that Allah created us originally in heaven or to stay in heaven, right? Forever. Here it's clearly he meant for us from the beginning to be right here. And in Surah Taha, it confirms. It says, مِنْهَا خَلَقْنَاكُمْ وَفِيهَا نُعِيدُكُمْ وَمِنْهَا نُخْرِجُكُمْ تَارَةً أُخْرَى. It is from it that we have created you. It is back to it that we will return you.
Back to what?
Back to it. Back to the ground. We've created you from the ground of the earth, and we will return you back to the earth, and from it we are going to recreate you again, to resurrect you again. So the story now is clear that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is telling us we were created from the earth to live on the earth. What about the story of paradise? We'll get to that story in a few minutes if we can reach it tonight. But basically, when Adam was entered into paradise, from the story of that short-lived experience, you will get to know very clearly that it was meant as an experience, not experiment. It was meant to be an experience. Allah wanted to drill in Adam the love of paradise before he has created his offsprings, right? It was him and his wife Eve, no one else. He told them, enter into paradise and eat thereof, but don't eat from that tree, and don't listen to that enemy of yours, the shaitan, Iblis, lest he would cause you to come out of these huge blessings. So was it meant for eternity, or did Allah have it planned as an experience for Adam and Eve to both of them appreciate? And they actually appreciated it so much that the shaitan uses the love of paradise to tempt them, to cause them to be turned down to earth. But this does not mean that that was not Allah's plan. It was Allah's plan all along, because He has the foreknowledge of what didn't happen now. He has the foreknowledge for what's happening in the future. So before He had created Adam, before He entered him into paradise to be with the angels and everything great, he knew that they are going to come back to earth because that was his plan. He said, "Inni ja'ilun fil ard." I am making in the earth a Khalifa. Now the word Khalifa. This is the first title that Allah gives to a human being. This is the first title, that we are all Khulafa. We are all Khulafa. Allah did not say Khalifatan li, like people say Khulafa Allah. No, we are not Khulafa illah, but we are mustakhlafin by Allah. And there's a huge difference. Because Khalifa literally in language means a successor or a succeeding type of creature. Someone who succeeds his own generation by the coming of the next generation. So parents beget children. Those children are supposed to inherit their parents, and their parents are supposed to make a space for them and leave, right? So the parent generation is dying, the young generation is becoming parents themselves, and so on and so forth. So the word Khalifa is someone whose life is in successor or successive cycles. So Adam and Eve were the first couple in Islam. Those are the first couple in literal sense, right? Not the ones in a White House. So the first couple are Adam and Eve. And Allah meant them to be vicegerents, which means authorized by Allah to live on the earth and to utilize the earth and to be protected by the heavens and to be provided by Allah and to succeed each other generation after generation. Hence the word Khalifa, someone who succeeds their predecessors, their ancestors. So we succeed our forefathers, and our grandchildren will succeed us, and so on and so forth. Yeah, this is another context. He's getting the ayah where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala talks to Dawood, saying, Ya Dawood, inna ja'alnaka khalifatan fil ard. Khalifa means that he got what he got of kingdom inherited from his predecessors. In other words, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is telling him, the empowerment we are giving you was in the hands of your predecessors, those who lived before you, which means you are here temporary. You are here on temporary basis. So don't take it for granted. And then it says, فَحْكُمْ بَيْنَ النَّاسِ بِالْحَقِّ. So judge amongst people in truth, in justice. So that adds a function within the Khilafah concept. Function of leadership, that your role as a Khalifa, which means leader in your community, your role is to establish justice. Your role is not to take things for yourself. And you are not here forever. You are here as a result of your predecessors who existed in the same space, passing away. You also are going to pass away. So make it good for the next generation. This is the context of Prophet Dawood and the ayah about Prophet Dawood. Khalifa in English is a vicegerent.
What?
Vicegerent.
What is that? Vice what?
V-I-C-E, gerent, G-E-R-E-N-T, vicegerent, which means someone who succeeds the ones that came before him. He succeeds his ancestors. Okay? The word vicegerent also includes another deep meaning, which is to become a steward of whatever blessings you find on the earth. You are a steward. You are to take care of.
What's the word?
Steward.
Steward. That's English, but Arabic?
حفيظ يعني أنت مؤتمن على ما تجد من النعم. You are entrusted as to the control and the utility and the growth and development of the blessings you find on the earth. So it becomes the role of a steward, someone who is entrusted of protecting and growing the blessings they find on the earth. إني جاعل.
Is it for both genders? Like man or female?
Yes. Khalifa is for men and women. Because Khalifa here is talking about humans, not in single. Khalifa here is talking about the race of humans as khulafa al-ard. Okay? Yes.
It says that when Allah created Adam, he taught him the names. And by name, does it mean?
We are not there yet.
Okay.
We'll get there. Let's finish the first ayah. So the angels heard Allah saying, I'm creating and I'm setting up and I'm putting a Khalifa on earth. قالوا أتجعل فيها من يفسد فيها ويسفك الدماء ونحن نسبح بحمدك ونقدس لك. Are you really going to set up or put someone on earth who would shed blood and corrupt things? Amazing. How did they know? The scholars have a lot of imaginative opinions. Okay? But when we read a little bit forth, the second ayah in the story, ayah number 31, you will get to know that they only know what Allah has told them. Because when Allah told them, tell me the names of things that Adam has told, right? They said, Subhanak, glory to you. لا علم لنا إلا ما علمتنا. We know nothing but what you told us. This will be ayah number 32. But we are still in ayah number 30. Okay? So they said, are you going to put on the land, in the earth here, someone who would spread corruption and mischief and mayhem and shed blood? While we, the angels, are chanting your praise and glorify your name, glorify your majesty. They are drawing a contrast. So some scholars say that they got to know this because before the creation of man, there was the creation of the jinn. And the jinn really shed blood and spread mischief and corruption because those of them who were not believers, they were creating havoc on the earth. They were the only creatures on the earth, and they took it for granted, and they thought that it is their kingdom. And this is one of the reasons that Iblis became jealous when Allah ordered the angels and ordered Iblis to prostrate for Adam. So they said, أتجعل فيها من يفسد فيها ويسفك الدماء ونحن نسبح بحمدك. While we are chanting your praise, ونقدس لك. We are glorifying the praise of your majesty. قال إني أعلم ما لا تعلمون. He said, I know what you do not know. Hence we know why he said in the previous ayah, ayah number 29, that he is بكل شيء عليم. So here are the angels. When they heard the news, they raised a question. And the question came as a result of their knowledge of this upcoming creature that he is created from the earth, right? And that he will have mischief and havoc wreaking attributes. They knew this from where? From Allah. Okay? So in ayah number 31, no, let us stop here. When he said, Inni a'lamu ma la ta'lamun, note that the angel didn't say but. The angels did not have a follow-up question. Why? Because Allah is talking. And what does he say that stops them from having a follow-up question? He is using his infinite divine knowledge to contrast their infinite undivine angelic ignorance. If the angels are called ignorant, you don't know what I know, what about us humans? We were not created yet. The angels live around Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. They hear his orders fresh, right? We hear it second hand or fourth hand or 10 million hands, right? So when he says, I know what you do not know, he is questioning their knowledge. Compared to his knowledge, they know nothing. Compared to his knowledge, we humans know nothing. So does it make sense that the one who knows nothing questions the one who knows everything, and he created everything, and he controls everything? It doesn't make sense. But man is a creature of potential arrogance. And man is a creature of wrongdoing, and man is a creature of ignorance. إِنَّهُ كَانَ ظَلُومًا جَهُولًا. So here's Allah telling us and the angels, I know what you do not know. And he is communicating this message to us. Let us move ayah number 31. وَعَلَّمَ آدَمَ الْأَسْمَاءَ كُلَّهَا. And then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala taught Adam. And that should draw our attention. So Adam is not going to be created with embedded knowledge. He is going to be created as educable creature. Someone you can educate, you can teach. He can learn. And as his knowledge grows, his faculties and his skills will grow. Likewise, his faith would grow with his knowledge. But what did Allah teach Adam? What names? What names of things? We'll get to know this in a minute. وَعَلَّمَ آدَمَ الْأَسْمَاءَ كُلَّهَا. Now we got a serious word to contend with. The usage of the language here is so encompassing and so vast that it is saying al-asma' kullaha, which seems to mean all names of all things, but not really. It is not that. Because if you take it literally, it means that Allah has taught Adam the names of things that existed and the names of things that didn't exist at that time. Right? While it is possible for Allah to teach Adam all of those names, but the question is, why does he teach Adam those names and not teach them to the angels? It is something simple, right? And why does he use Adam as a human to prove to the angels what he said? He said, Inni a'lamu ma la ta'lamun. I know what you do not know. Right? So To answer this question, one has to go, thank you, one has to go to the text itself. It says, وَعَلَّمَ آدَمَ الْأَسْمَاءَ كُلَّهَا. The word al-asma, when something is with the article al, the article al is called in Arabic adatut ta'rif. When I say, call all the brothers outside, or call all the musallin from outside. So, are you going to look out for anyone who doesn't have to pray? You're going to look for those who are out there to pray. When I tell you, call the kids who are in the masjid, are you going to look for adults? When I say the kids, I put an age group, right? When I say al-asma', it's supposed to be something known. Because if Allah were to ask the angels about something that He knows that they don't know, and they know they don't know, then what is this exercise for? Is it to prove that He knows what they don't know? He said it in the previous ayah. He said, إِنِّي أَعْلَمُ مَا لَا تَعْلَمُونَ, right? But what is happening here is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is telling us what He told Adam, al-asma', and then it says kullaha, all of it. But then we continue the ayah to find that He's saying ثُمَّ عَرَضَهُمْ, then He presented them. So the word al-asma' is not really the names of things as we take it literally, but it means the names of the things, because it is al-asma' of al-ashya' that Allah has presented to the angels later on. So Adam has been presented with things, right, that the angels do not know their names. And why don't they know their names? It is not only because Allah did not tell them. Allah, as He is creating Adam and He is giving him the ownership, the stewardship, if you will, of the earth, of course He wants to tell him what is on the earth. So He wants him to know, this is a rock, this is dust, this is a mountain, this is a peak, this is a river, this is this. So whatever things Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has already placed in visible view for Adam and the angels, right, that have utility for Adam, they have benefit for Adam, Adam will use, and he has to name, because he will be talking and dealing with those things for the rest of his life, generation after generation. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala taught those names to Adam because Adam needs it. Adam needs to know, what is an iron? What is it made of? How do I manipulate it? What is a rock? Can I plant in a rock? What is a forest? What is a forest made of? What is a plant? Because he needs to manipulate his environment. But do the angels live on earth? No. Do they need to know all the names of all the things that are put on earth? No. That's why Allah did not tell them the names of the things that He had told Adam about it. Yes.
So people say He taught Adam the names, which is the original of all languages on earth. Is that true?
Adam was created from pieces of the earth collected from different types of soils, from different spots of the earth. And that's why his children will come with varieties of shapes and colors and height and everything else. Okay? They also are going to come and speak varieties of languages. But if you study the language development and the growth of community and communication, you will find that languages have been evolving. It is not a static concept. But linguists tell us that Arabic is different.
The only language never changed.
It is evolving because it grows with the needs. Can someone give a chair to Sheikh Abu Bakr, please? So the issue of Adam learning all languages all at once, Allah teaches us what we need to know. So knowledge is given to humans based on need basis. It's not based on our wishes or our imagination or our desires or our wants. It's based on need basis. So previously, any child who grew up in a community would speak the language of that community. Finished. There was no such a thing as multilingual human being because people did not travel across the oceans, people did not travel across the land. Very few people did that. And when they land in a land, they learn the language of that land. And we know that from the story of Dhul Qarnayn. Dhul Qarnayn landed in a place where he could not understand people and people could not understand him. Definitely, if he lives with them, he would learn the language. So there is no need for Adam to learn 10, 20 languages, assuming that he would teach it to his children. No, language evolves based on needs. So as Allah taught Adam to name things, He taught him the foundation for learning, because all learning starts with two things: names and verbs. Names and verbs. Right? So Allah taught him the names, and definitely Adam turned those names or derived from those names actions and verbs and things to be done. This is how language started to evolve. Okay? So I don't believe that Adam has learned all the languages that there will ever be. We have languages that are still evolving. We don't know them in Africa, in Asia, in many places. So let us move with this quickly. Then it says, وَعَلَّمَ آدَمَ الْأَسْمَاءَ كُلَّهَا ثُمَّ عَرَضَهُمْ. عَرَضَهُمْ, he presented them, is a term that is used in the same ayah to tell us the word al-asma' means al-ashya'. Allah taught Adam the things and the names of the things that he presented to the angels later on. ثُمَّ عَرَضَهُمْ على الملائكة فقال أنبئوني بأسماء هؤلاء. He told the angels, give me the names of those things. So definitely those things that he presented are things that existed in those days, right? Adam, let alone the angels, didn't need to know a computer or supercomputer or iPad or iPhone or... Let's not throw our imagination around, but he named certain things that were, by the text of the ayah, presentable. ثُمَّ عَرَضَهُمْ. These are things that existed. He presented them to Adam and to the angels. Okay? And he told the angels, name them, give me the names. Because if you know the names, you know the things that you are naming. If you know the things you are naming and you have names for them, then you know what they could be used for, most probably. So he taught Adam the names of things, all the names of the things that existed at that time, according to my understanding. Then he presented them for the angels and said, tell me the names, أنبئوني بأسماء هؤلاء إن كنتم صادقين. tell me the names of those things if you were truthful. Truthful about what?
About the previous ayah that is still
About what you are telling.
About what they answered Allah with. When Allah told them, I'm creating a vicegerent on earth, they said, would you put someone like this who would, spread mischief and wreak havoc and shed blood? And we are glorifying your praise and so on and so forth. He said, I know what you do not know. To prove to them that he knows more than what they could ever know, he wanted to run a simple exercise. So he uses Adam. So he teaches Adam the names of things and tells the angels, tell me, do you know these names? What did they say? They said, Subhanak, glory be to you. La ilma lana illa ma 'allamtana. We have no knowledge but the knowledge you gave us. So now they are teaching us to be humble. If the angels could be that humble when it comes to knowledge, they humble themselves before Allah, and they are telling us the way they knew that that new creature would wreak havoc and make mischief on earth and shed blood. The way they knew this is from Allah, because it's part of their knowledge, right? They knew this, and they say, our knowledge is only part of what you have taught us, O Allah. So they said, Subhanaka, la ilma lana illa ma 'allamtana. We have no knowledge. Our knowledge is nothing but what you have taught us. Innaka anta al-alimul hakim. And here is our first alimun hakim expression. All knowledgeable, all wise. Allah, whenever He makes anything, He makes it or decides it or rules it out based on His divine knowledge and divine wisdom. Take notice. This is what the ayah say. Take notice. Don't question Allah. We'll stop here, inshallah. Jazakumullah khairan. And next time we will get to know what happened with Adam and the angels. سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك نشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت نستغفرك ونتوب إليك.